Hey. Sorry about the delayed opening there. Jeez. I literally just fucking zoned out. How weird is that? I'm blaming the heat. It's very hot here in the UK. And it's not just hot. It's also thunderstorms on the same day. 37 degrees, thunderstorms. 58% humidity. I don't know whether to wear sunscreen or a raincoat, or both. Christ. I'm sweating cobs. Okay, where are we? Where were we? Phoenix Wright. Morgan Fay. We discovered that Morgan Fay is behind all of this, as unlikely as that seems. Somehow, she's behind everything. Although there's still something weird, because someone was channeling Dahlia's spirit that wasn't Pearl's, and we think maybe that was Misty, and that's why she died. Maybe? I don't know. I feel like we're getting to the point where technically Elise stabbed herself, but it was the spirit of Dahlia that did it, maybe. Fuck knows. We're just going to start with Pearl. Good morning. How are you by yourself? Morning, Pearls. Listen, Nick, please tell me, what's going to happen to Mystic Maya? I'm sorry, we don't know yet. The investigation is still going on, so I wasn't allowed into the inner temple. Oh, I see. Yeah, because she wrote Maya as well, which was fucking odd. But that could just be Dahlia trying to set her up, right? Star is still trying to remove those trick locks in the training hall. No, she's the defendant in this case, so she can't be at the inner temple. She's required to be here in court. Then how come she's not here in the defendant's lobby? I have to admit, it's kind of strange. What do we reckon? Godot? We'll try Godot. If you're looking for Iris, she's in the prosecutor's lobby. Oh, it's Edgeworth. Shit. Edgeworth, damn it. What's Iris doing over there? She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak. Today's testimony? You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. Wait, what? The prosecutor is squeezing her for a confession. Or so I heard. Jessica von Karma, what are you up to? I know what you're thinking, but Francisco isn't going to be the prosecutor today. It's Godot, obviously. What, then who is? Who else would it be but Godot? Godot! Francesca is engaged in some important work at the Sacred Cabin. The Sacred Cabin? You don't mean that she's... Exactly. She has been out there all night, trying to remove those trick locks. With the head nun's assistance, naturally. We estimate that the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. I hope everything continues to go smoothly, and we receive some good news soon. Yeah, thanks, Edgeworth. Prosecutor Godot intends to nail this case shut today. Be prepared to fight like there's no tomorrow. You don't have to tell me that. Touché. I can already see it in your eyes. You're not the same fever-ridden, frantic maniac you were yesterday. It's strange, on the way here I decided that today would be the end of all this. Almost immediately after I made that decision, I felt myself getting stronger. Interesting. Maybe you've passed your code on to someone else, literally. And with that, I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, partner. You'll be my wingman anytime. Thanks, Edgeworth. Get out of here, son of a bitch. Slap him on the ass as he goes. I still don't have answers for most of the riddles plaguing this case. The circumstances around the murder of Mr. Lise Dunim, no, I mean Ms. Misty Fay. Impossible flight Larry claims to have seen. And what that woman is really after. We'll solve them all and bring this whole tragedy to an end. Court is now in session for the trial of Iris of Hazakura Temple. We're back. We're sweatier than ever. Classic Phoenix Wright. Just this is not what you want to see when you walk into the dock and look over at your defense attorney, and then you just get this. Your Honor, what are you? Who, me? Well, my little brother came to visit me in my chambers earlier this morning. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted. Therefore, I'll be standing in for him. Oh shit, it's the wrong judge. See, Your Honor. So they're brothers. That explains a lot. No, it doesn't. One of them is Canadian. My poor brother, he looked a bit pale, not to mention sad that he couldn't be here. Oh god, it's coffee time. It is impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. This is precisely why people feel a need to judge the past. We of the court have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment. Well said, Mr. Godot. Understood exactly what you said, at least up until the end, anyway. Now then, Mr. Godot, please proceed with your opening statement. Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts shift. Shit, bollocks. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. There is only one thing that remains a constant in this crazy world. Coffee. The bitter darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug. So then you mean, oh, forget it. What do you mean? During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime. But today, she has had a change of heart. Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple has a confession to make. Confession? The defendant? Iris, why didn't she discuss this with me first? Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession. Damn it, Iris. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask her for her name and profession. Well, that's not terrible advice, actually. Weirdly, for once, Godot has got a point. That's literally your foot in the door for some small talk, right? Who are you and what do you do? That's one of my rules. My name is Iris. I am but a simple nun undergoing training at Hazakura Temple. Witness, is there something that you want to confess to? Yes. First, I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore. It's alright, what is it? Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident. Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you are the one who murdered Miss Elise Donim? No, I'm not, Your Honor. I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise. Carried it to the Hazakura Temple courtyard where I desecrated it. What? Order! Witness, are you saying you were an accomplice to the murder? Yes, that's correct. 3 minutes in court and I'm already covered in a cold sweat. Ha! Everyone on the planet is an accomplice to something. Huh. Let me think about that one for a moment. Except, like, babies, right? Not babies. But everyone else. I mean, I guess. It just happens to be that in this case, it's to murder. Isn't that right, Mr. Trite? That Godot. So this is the confession they were conferring about. Pains me to say this. It looks like Iris' testimony was all a lie. Oh no, Iris's testimony crumpled up and shoved into a pocket. Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions? Iris was covering for someone. Well, duh. Now I'm definitely up the creek without a paddle or a life jacket. I've been at Hazakura Temple ever since I was a little girl. Hazakura Temple is run by one of the branch families of the Korean tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family. I'm sorry, but main family? Yes, and that's why I would dirty myself if need be to protect her. The daughter of the master of the Korean channeling technique, Mystic Maya Fey. Huh? Wake up and smell the coffee, Wright. It's naming Maya. Order! Not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer. I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my very own eyes. Then I cleaned up the area to try to protect her. So Maya channeled Dahlia. Then why was Misty over there? The defense will refrain from commenting until the appropriate time. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened on the night of the crime? Yes, Your Honor. I thought I was prepared for the unexpected, but I never imagined the case would wind up going in this direction. The real murderer. I went to the inner temple that night and I saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. Oh. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it. Oh. So it was Elise that channeled Dahlia. Presumably to save Pearls from doing it. How mysterious. So it was in self-defense? Yes, Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first. That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya. You moved the victim's body to the temple so that Maya wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad. You've got the instincts of a true criminal. Something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday. Iris never went to the temple that night. And the person who did go was that woman. Iris even admitted it. But we just scoffed her testimony. Oh, God. Now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination. Okay. But we don't have anything that disproves that anymore, so... Sister Iris, your testimony has changed quite a bit since yesterday. You stated yesterday that on the night of the murder you didn't go to the inner temple.
Objection!
Did she now? Too bad for you, what she said yesterday doesn't mean much today. By the way, where were you when she claimed that she didn't go? It was in the inner temple's training hall? A private conversation between the two of you does not constitute testimony. That will be properly described as hearsay. What do you have to say, witness? I just couldn't tell him the truth at that time. Mystic Maya, she's your girlfriend, isn't she? I didn't want to be the one to break it to you that I saw her commit murder. There, we all understand how difficult this is for you. Now then, let's continue with the testimony. What did you witness in the temple garden? Well, Your Honor, I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. Hold it! You're saying that the victim attacked Maya. I mean, Ms. Faye. Yes, it was a truly frightening scene. Mystic Maya was struck hard on the head and looked like she was going to collapse. What were you doing at the time? Why didn't you stop them from fighting? I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I was frightened. I couldn't move. Couldn't even speak. I was in such shock. That's perfectly understandable, my dear. This doesn't sound right. I don't believe this testimony for a minute. What happened after that? Hold it! She moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Yes, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon. Wait a minute, what was the weapon? It was kind of dagger. Dagger her? But why would she do that if she had a sword in her staff? And at least let him try to stab her with this weapon. To kill Miss Faye? Yes, exactly. Ha! You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce. I mean... You have a problem with the testimony we're hearing from your client, lawyer boy. I have a problem with Iris's testimony. Yeah, there is one thing. Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony. You do. This witness is your own client. Yeah, well, nevertheless, that's fine. Witness, let's add your last statement to the testimony. Yes, sir. Hey, just a moment. It's my job to say that. Listen, Gramps. I won't say it again. Final judgment will be rendered by me. Ugh. Okay, now let's continue. Do we present the sword cane on this son of a bitch right now? I feel like I do. But just in case I'm too early. Objection! Sister Iris, there's something strange about your version of events. Huh? Mr. Nim throwing his staff away makes no sense at all to me. But all you can do with the staff is hit someone. Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. Had a knob on the end. As you can see, it's a sword. Holy shit! If Elisa Nim really had wanted to kill Maya Faye, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger. Not when she already had a beautiful blade in her hands already. Well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say? Objection! That was an impressive bit of investigating, trite. I never would have thought there was a sword hidden in that staff. But even so, how should I put this? A long sword is unwieldy, and thus quite ineffective in close quarters combat. Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over her blade. Well... Anyway, the type of weapon she chose to use isn't what's important. The important thing is that she tried to kill Maya Faye. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony. Well, there is something strange about that. Because that's her mother. Which, to be fair, right, doesn't mean, like, mothers kill their daughters sometimes. But in this case, it would seem weird to do so. Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution has a point. Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back its argument. Mr. Wright? I have here another piece of evidence that shows that this testimony can't be trusted. Because Miss Elisa Nim would never attempt to take the life of Maya Fey. How I prove this? With the talisman? Or with the poster? Or with just Elisa Nim, because real name Misty Fey? Let's try doing it this way. Elisa Nim would never have attacked Maya Fey. How can you be so sure? Because the victim's real name was not Elisa Nim. Her real name was Misty Fey. Fey! Ah, no! Not Mystic Misty Fey. Who is this Misty Fey? Is she related to... Misty Fey is the master of the Crane channeling technique. She is also the mother of Maya Fey. Are you serious? Is it really true, Mr. Wright? Was Elisa Nim actually the great mystic Misty? There's no doubt about it. Looks like Iris had no idea. I can hardly believe it. The idea that she would try to kill her only daughter, one she hadn't seen in 17 years. Perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation for why she would do such a thing. Order! Upon first hearing the witness's testimony, it seemed natural enough. However, in light of some facts that have just been presented. 1. That the victim supposedly threw away a sword during a fight. And 2. That the two people battling to the death were mother and daughter. Despite the facts being believable when taken on their own. When taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe. Listen, there's nothing in this world that is impossible. Except for one little thing. Yes, what is this one little impossible thing? Ha! You still don't get it. You think maybe my beans are under-roasted, but you have no idea, Gramps. Could you get to your point? I heard this witness's confession this morning. Just as I had taken the first sip of my 8th cup of morning coffee. You're going to ruin your health, my friend. Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime. And he discovered this little beauty. Fuck me. Is that the dagger the witness testified to seeing? Obviously, Your Honor. But do you not notice something else? Now that you mention it, if you look closely, there appears to be blood on it. Where did you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene. Did you investigate the pine tree at the crime scene? Huh? The pine tree? This dagger was stuck in the backside of the pine tree. Fuck you, Ditto. When the last blow was struck, ending the violent battle between the two women. This little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree. What? Which means the blood on this dagger belongs to the victim, correct? Ha! Were you even listening, old man? I first heard this confession this morning, just as I had taken the first sip of my 13th cup of morning coffee. Did you say it was your 8th just a few minutes ago? I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed on such short notice. In any case, the court will accept the will accept the dagger as evidence. Furthermore, I order that a blood test be performed on it immediately. This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right. Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately. Now then, the testimony we've just heard has numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found the very dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible. Incredible, more like. Cute girls never lie. Ever. Citation needed. I'm pressing X. I'm rapidly pressing X to doubt. In any case, witness, if you could please testify again to this court. About what, Your Honor? About the incident you saw, the battle between the two women. Yes, Your Honor. Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff, but then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive with her back to the stone lantern. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. That was a very heartbreaking story. I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Mystic Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore. I guess. Oh, God, that almost works. Because we know Maya didn't know what she looked like, but then she saw the poster, but then that was the poster of her mother 17 years ago. The question is whether Elise didn't recognize Maya, but like, she presumably did, otherwise there'd been no reason for her to be there at all, right? Because she either went there to channel Dahlia, so that Pearls wouldn't have to, or she went there to check on Maya because she knew the training would be hard and Maya was channeling Dahlia. It's one of those. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. Is it my stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff? Alice, where were you standing when you witnessed all of this? What do you mean? Well, if either of them had noticed you, they might not have continued their battle. I wonder if that's true. The two of them, they were standing near the garden's stone lantern. I was watching the whole thing from behind. Behind what? The stone lantern? It was dark where the two of them were, so I think that's why they didn't see me. So it was dark in the garden when the murder took place. So it was dark in the garden. Bollocks. Tell me, what did Miss Maya Fey do after she was struck? What happened to the victim's staff then? I'm not sure. The area was very dark, so I couldn't really see. I think he got knocked away somewhere as the fight escalated. That makes sense. That would explain the need for the dagger. Mystic Elise raised the dagger to strike. Mystic Maya dodged it at the last second. The dagger struck the lantern and fell to the ground. Then at some point Mystic Maya picked it up. Nothing sounds especially strange yet. I mean, it sounds a little strange, but okay. What did the victim do when the weapon was stolen from her? Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive. Yeah, okay. Hold on, go back. They're back to the stone lantern. You're saying that Maya Fey turned the tables on the victim. Yes. Mystic Maya wasn't herself at the time. After all, her life was in danger. And still can't believe it. The idea of Maya cornering someone at knife point is just silly. As they say, a cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal. I believe the correct description of a cornered fox is scared and petrified. Your animal analogies have grown tiresome. You were the one who started it. Anyway, so after Maya Fey backed the victim into the stone lantern, what happened next? You absolutely certain that's what you saw? Yes, I'm almost certain. Almost? The garden was dark. I couldn't really tell who was who. What did she just say? So in other words, it could have been someone else entirely. Objection! We know that Maya Fey was at the inner temple that night. And that the woman that was killed was Elise Donim. Isn't it fairly obvious who attacked who? No. I don't have anything to counter that yet. Well done, witness. Please continue with your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. Wait. Why can't I do anything with that? The two of them face each other for a moment. Then Mystic Maya rushed straight into Mystic Elise. Wait, this is new, is it? Then Mystic Elise tumbled over and fell to the ground. So she was stabbed in the stomach, huh? Yes. That doesn't make sense. Did we not get that added? Might as well fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. Where did that dagger go? I have no idea. It was dark, they couldn't see. According to the detective who found the dagger, it was stuck into the pine tree in the garden. Most likely it was flung towards the tree after the struggle. Here's the most likely explanation, yes. If being stabbed in the stomach, did the victim collapse right away? Now that I think of it, she seemed to stare at Mystic Maya for a while. And Mystic Maya stood there not moving an inch. It felt for a moment like time had just stopped. But then, suddenly, as if the spell had worn off, Mystic Elise fell over. It seems like a reasonable story at first. There's one thing that is completely impossible. The very idea of Maya stabbing someone. That alone is impossible, which means its faulty testimony must contain another contradiction in it somewhere. Indeed. Indeedy-doo. Indeedy-doo-doo. In-doo-doo. God damn it. But what's the evidence? I would love the stabbed from the front bit so that I could say that she died from a stab in the back. But for whatever reason, that was considered not part of the testimony. Ah. I don't know. What do you want from me? Man, I'm gonna skip through a lot of the walkthrough because we haven't used it for a while. Part 4-1. Right. The battle. Present the autopsy. Oh, we are presenting the autopsy report. I talked myself out of it because she didn't say anything about the stomach, but we are apparently just contradicting that regardless.
Objection!
Wild. Something about you just isn't right today, Iris. Till now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions. What do you mean? What's so wrong about my testimony? According to you, my face stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern, correct? Yes, that's right. But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right? Yes, I think so. But, according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back. This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Iris, it appears that the seed of doubt has sprouted from your testimony. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? Ha! It's simple. People are like books. We've all got a front and a back. You get my drift? Yeah, we're full of pages. Is that all you have to say? I can also say that darkness loves to play with the human mind.
Objection!
Please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and illogical metaphors already. The point is, too much of this testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away useful staff, the people fighting mother and daughter, and now she falsely claims the victim was stabbed in the stomach. There certainly are some inconsistencies. Your Honor, it's bollocks. It's all bollocks. Well, Iris, how about it? Well, I'm afraid it is bollocks, Mr. Wright. If you ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing. What do you mean? There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee, but to pick out each one requires total concentration and the use of all the senses. Were you really concentrating on what this witness actually said? Prosecutor Godot, explain yourself. The witness was quite unambiguous about her own ambiguities when she said that the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly. A human needs one thing to see clearly. Actually, we need two things. Eyes and light. Fuck you, Godot. Boom. And that is light. Light. By the way, did you know? Hazakura has a rule that on nights, when an acolyte is at the inner temple training, the stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit. I did wonder what that stone lantern was there for. Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the grime more clearly? Normally, yes, Your Honor. But according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light that stone lantern. Impossible? It hadn't been used in a long time, and the wick was no good. In other words, It had to have been nearly pitch black in the garden that night. There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all. Most enlightening. Yes, that illuminating fact has chased all the contradictions away. If the staff was dropped, it would be difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. You can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak. Isn't that right, Trite? No. Order! Here, Your Honor, let me present the stone lantern into evidence. Maybe it will rekindle the flame of truth in your mind. Why is the judge just sitting there with that look on his face? What's wrong, Your Honor? Was that flame too hot? This lantern, there's something written on it. Why, it's written in blood. Oh boy. The judge didn't know about that yet. Written in blood? It says Meyer upside down. What the? Oh, yes, that's right. After being cornered and then stabbed by Mystic Meyer, Mystic Elise didn't fall down right away. She must have been writing that on the stone lantern behind her, with the blood that was draining out of her body. It certainly looks that way. Objection. Hang on just a minute. What are you all talking about? Can he not see it because it's red? What do you mean, what are we all talking about? We're talking about the message written in blood. Nonsense. This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle. Could it be? Can't see the bloody writing at all? Now that I think of it, he did say something to me yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. That's what he meant by that. He's got like a red filter. He's like looking through a virtual boy. In any case, this is an obviously important clue. We now know that the crime scene was dark, and that the victim scrawled this message on the stone lantern. Well, Mr. Godot, anything further? Mr. Godot? Okay then, let's move on. Godot is literally shaking, and somehow I don't think it's from caffeine overdose. I believe it has now been established that Mr. Nim was killed by Maya Fey. That's just wrong, Your Honor. Now it's time to turn our attention to you. Yes, sir. After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears. After Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Meyer. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Korean tradition. So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. And I used the snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple, and I used the Shichishito to alter the way the wound looked. So you moved the body? Yes, I was raised at Hazakura Temple. I owe a great deal of thanks to the Fey clan. Even so, I never imagined that Lisa Nim was actually Misty Fey. I've committed a terrible sin. A terrible trick of fate. I believe you're looking for Twist of Fate, Your Honor. I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body, but you were spotted by the head nun, correct? Yes, and that's why I couldn't go back. So it makes sense, I suppose. Mr. Wright, go ahead with your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, Iris. What did you say to her? You waited until everything was over before making a move. No, it's not like that. Objection! She saw someone murdered right in front of her eyes. It's not surprising that she was a little timid. Yes, I suppose that's true. Sometimes when I'm watching lawyers argue back and forth with each other, I feel so helpless that I just sit quietly and wait for them to reach a conclusion. Isn't your job as the judge to mediate the argument? It wasn't until Mystic Maya saw me that it finally dawned on her what she had done. So then, you knew the significance of the name Maya Fey? Yes, of course I did. That's odd. I mean, Sister Bikini didn't recognize Maya's name, let alone her position. Anyway, she was a very special person indeed. So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. Why did you do that? Because I didn't want Mystic Maya to be suspected in any way. I thought the best thing would be to remove the body from the crime scene. You moved her body all by yourself? Yes, I did. It would have been impossible if it wasn't for the snow. The snow, huh? I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. It's pretty amazing you can make it all the way across. That's a rickety old bridge. It looks worse than it is. It's surprisingly sturdy despite its age. It's like they say, idiots are too stupid to catch even a simple cold. There's one other thing. Fuck me, I can't speak today. But there's one other thing that bothers me. Why not just throw the body into the Eagle River? What? It would have been much easier than dragging it all the way to Hazakoa Temple. I thought that it would still cast too much suspicion on Mystic Maya. That's why I tried to take the body as far away as possible. Ha! Makes perfect sense to me. For the time being. Anyway, what did you do after you crossed the bridge? The snowmobile, blah blah blah. The snowmobile? I knew that would show up sooner or later. Yes, I had the key. I used the snowmobile to travel from Hazakoa Temple to Dusky Bridge. This is the part that was in question the other day. Should I ask for more details about the tracks? But it did move her body by snowmobile, and there should be tracks left in the snow, right? Well, yes, naturally you would expect tracks. This picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are these the tracks from that ride? Yes, I think they are. But I can only see one set of tracks here. I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow was still falling when I left Hazakoa Temple. I see, snow was still falling, huh? And then when the murder took place, it had already stopped. That's why there are such fresh-looking tracks. How about it, Mr. Wright? What do you think about this testimony? Very important. The murder took place, the snow had already stopped? That doesn't make sense if you stack it up against the other evidence. Your Honor, I'd like the statement Iris just made added to the testimony. But does it have something to do with the case? All will be made clear if you allow a statement to be added to the record. Ha! This should be fun. Let's get this snow business cleared up, shall we? Yes, sir. By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. There have been a lot of contradictions in your testimony so far. This time, are you sure it's all true? Yes, I am. When the murder happened, the snow had already stopped. According to you, that's why the snowmobile tracks were so clear. That's right. I'm certain of it. I think I've trapped her this time. I see how you think. Snow, huh? What's going on here? Snow really had stopped by the time of the murder. It mean there's a bigger hole in the story than the movie The Grid Revelations. The fuck? What movie? I don't know that movie. What the fuck? What is The Grid Revelations? What a weird ass reference. What is this? The Grid Revelations. Like, the first results are about Phoenix, Wright? Oh, it's a Matrix joke. I see. I see. I took it too literally. Okay, very, very funny. Honestly. Oh, God. Well then, Mr. Trite. Perhaps you'd like to share your theory with us. Let's see what's up your sleeve. Or rather, at the end of your index finger. What? I don't believe it, but I don't think my logic is failing me. I'm going to say, because I bet this is a you lose a life if you present the wrong thing here, and it's something bullshit that isn't the weather report. Amos is trying to pin the murder on Maya, but why would she want to do that? There's only one reason I can think of. That's because she fucking did it. Right. By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. She got seen at what, 11 o'clock? Which means the murder took place at about 10:50. If she dragged the body... I mean, well, how long would it take us to drag the body across the bridge? Not that long. And then snowmobile it back, like, yeah, 10 minutes. And that is literally when the murder... when the snow stopped. Ah. But the bridge would have been on fire at that point, right? The bridge was on fire before the snow stopped. So surely that's what we're presenting.
Objection!
Your Honor. No, come on, how is that not right? And clearly proves it. I'm too smart for this game. That is the problem here. I'm too good. Oh, hi, welcome back. But the thing is, by the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped, right? My evidence is correct. We know that is wrong. The snow stopped at 10:50, but at that point, the bridge was already on fire. So she can't have dragged the body over the bridge. So if we're not getting her with that, what the fuck are we getting her with? By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. It doesn't mention that it was in the snow. That wouldn't make a difference. Neither would that. Because there's also, like, we kind of glossed over the lantern being broke, and yet it was clearly lit at some point because there was melted snow around it, which is, like, it's weird that hasn't come up yet. By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. We don't have a picture of the actual murder scene. Hmm. Well, the other thing I can do is I haven't pressed the shitty shito thing yet, but I also we can swap that for a different statement, right? There was something we could press on.
Hold it!
Is that what you were doing when Sister Bikini saw you? Yes, that's right. She probably thought the worst. Probably. More like definitely. I see. So Sister Bikini mistakenly thought you were the one that murdered Mr. Nim. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. It's my fault that this case has gotten so confusing.
Hold it!
Let me hear more about the snowmobile ride. Well, it was very cold that night, so I rode it all the way to the foot of the bridge.
Objection!
I'm sorry, witness, but now I've got a problem with your testimony. Excuse me? Kiddo, what are you up to now? That night, after the head nun left the remainder of the training to you, she said she walked from the inner temple back to Hazakura Temple. Yes, I'm fairly certain that's what the record indicates. Let's recall her comments on the subject. Maybe, but when I made it back to Hazakura Temple, it was there, by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean. The snowmobile was in front of the main gate. This is one of those contradictions, wouldn't you say? Order! Mr. Godot! Why are you pointing out contradictions in the witness's testimony? Let's just say I'd like things to be neat and tidy, okay? Well, maybe Sister Bikini missed it. Yeah, maybe she didn't see it. I think she missed it. That doesn't sound right. Ha! Whatever. Even I don't think this is decisive enough to warrant any more time or effort. It's just, you'd better be careful in your testimony. That's all I wanted to say. Smart little cookie like you shouldn't have any trouble understanding that. Yes, sir. What was that all about? Why would Godot want to give me a hint? So we're just presenting the picture of the snowmobile rather than the super fucking obvious weather evidence? Very well then, let's continue with the testimony. So you transported the body by snowmobile all the way to Hazakura Temple Courtyard. Yes, I thought that way. Mystic Maya would never be suspected. That's what I thought anyway. And then Man, I'd love to be in the fucking... on the team when they're designing this and just point that shit out and just be like, guys, do you not think the weather report maybe proves that? Okay. Damn it, I clicked the thing. Right, let's try presenting the picture of the snowmobile. Gotta save before I do it. So I don't trust this for 1 minute to be the correct answer.
Objection!
Not that then. Okay. So we're not presenting the snowmobile. We're not presenting the weather report.
Objection!
Crystal? Sister Bikini?
Objection!
I know it's wrong, I just don't know how to fucking prove it. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. What weird fucking evidence do you want for this? Present the weather data on the 4th statement. What? So we're presenting it here. I mean, same fucking difference, man. God damn it.
Objection!
That's literally what I was trying to do anyway. Claiming that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred. But I'm sorry, Iris, this just isn't possible. What? This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed Dusky Bridge at that time. Why did you say that? Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and had caught on fire. Oh, what did you say? The bridge? It was on fire? You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? It was because of that lightning strike that the bridge burned down. What? But it can't be. Looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney. No. Order! The bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right, the inner temple was already totally cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed that bridge, body or no body. Witness, even my patience has its limits. Any further lying and I will find you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself?
Objection!
The only person here that is truly contemptible is you. Old man. Me? How dare you? Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean squat right now. Squat? The important thing now is to find out the truth. Isn't that right? Oh, yes, of course, but whether it was snowing or not snowing, or whether the bridge was burning or not, there are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of Elise Donim was discovered in the Hazakura temple courtyard. And second, the head nun, Sister Bikini, witnessed Iris desecrating Elise Donim's body. He makes a good point on both accounts. That's right, I'm not lying. What are you claiming this time? I wasn't myself at all that night, so my memory is somewhat hazy.
Objection!
You have stood at that witness stand and testified this entire time. You're telling us now that your memory of that night is hazy?
Objection!
It is only human to err. If you're so perfect, trite, maybe you could explain this for the court. What is it? When the murder happened, the bridge had already burnt down. But somehow, the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick. I have multiple explanations for this little magic trick. I have 2, maybe 3, possibly 4. Let's go through how not to live your lifestyle. 4 ways the body could have got to the thing. Number 1, the autopsy report places the time of death between 10 and 11. It's entirely possible she was murdered at 10, taken over there, and basically Iris and Bikini are just bullshitting about the times. Right? Option 1. Option 2. The incinerator. When Pearl burnt the instructions in the incinerator, it exploded and yeeted Elise Donim across the bridge. She landed in the snow on the other side. Option 3. Because we don't know exactly what is and isn't canon in the fictional world of Phoenix Wright anymore, maybe she could fly. Maybe she really did fly over the bridge. Option 4. A secret passage. We don't know what's inside that inner temple. We haven't been allowed in there. It's all super fucking dogshit secret. What if there's a secret passage that you can travel under and it comes out somewhere else in the fucking temple? That's at least 4. There's possibly others. Well, not exactly, though. I know there must be some other way she got across that burnt-out bridge. Unless I can somehow demonstrate it. I mean, that's the hard part. We'll never know the truth. But there are at least 4 methods. An explosion powerful... I mean, maybe. But Phoenix Wright it's sometimes bullshit, okay? In reality, yes, that would have completely destroyed the thing. But, you know, that wouldn't be their biggest plot hole in the Phoenix Wright saga. So, I'm prepared to accept it as a possibility, even if it's an unlikely one. It's probably the least likely of the 4, to be fair. Which, saying it's less likely than her flying across the bridge while she was on fire is something else, but sure. It looks like the defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation. See what I mean? In other words, you're in no position to suggest that this lady's testimony isn't the truth. Look, I know it's bollocks. We just gotta prove it. All right then, witness. Let's hear your testimony once more. About what, Your Honor? You admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contained a rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation for that to your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. Must be a final testimony. Over the walking over the bridge, there's no way to move the body. Maybe it is a secret passage. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. Was the snow still falling or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much? Or are you saying that there is no way to cross a burning bridge? I mean, there is also a way to cross a burning bridge. I did wonder about this when Larry first showed us the picture, but it seemed so absurd I didn't even mention it. And that is a hang glider, because a burning bridge would give off warm air currents. But I feel like that's a stretch, even though, like, you know, it would probably work, but you'd need somewhere high to launch from. You know, it's a bit much. It stretches even my credibility to think that that would be a plot point they would use. But that is a fifth potential possibility. What else? I mean, there's probably other ways. I mean, if you planned it in advance and you knew the bridge was not going to be there, which you wouldn't do unless you burned it down, there's always you could set up some sort of very clever pulley system. There's definitely ways. There's definitely ways. This is a photo of Dusky Bridge after it burned down from the lightning blast. It was taken on the morning after the incident. It certainly was burned to a crisp. One of the suspension wires even snapped. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. You could potentially zip down a suspension wire, but then, I mean, you'd have to... Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch, isn't it? There is the little dock, though. If there's a way down on this side, you could just raft across. The river is strong current, though, I guess, which has kind of been established. But potential sixth method. But it would have been impossible to carry a corpse across a bridge in this condition. Unless I do something to discredit this testimony, it's going to be deemed as the truth. Maya will be accused of murder. Trite. I'm only gonna say it one more time. It is only human to err. And only humans can spot the errors of our ways. The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes. All right, Mr. Wright, please begin your final cross-examination. I don't know where my voice went, sorry. Okay. How do we get you on this? Yeah, so if the snow had already stopped when the incident took place, I couldn't have crossed the bridge naturally. But I think it's just like Mr. Godot said. The body did make it across somehow. But you seemed to be quite sure of yourself when you gave your testimony. You said you were sure the snow had already stopped. I'm terribly sorry, I was wrong. Does she really think an apology is going to get her off the hook? This is no joke. You're giving sworn testimony in a court of law. Oh, Mr. Wright, let me ask you a question. Do you remember what the weather was like 1 week ago today? Well, naturally it was, You see, it's not that easy to remember, is it? Yeah, because no fucking murders took place. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I feel like the incident would be more ingrained in my brain. Yeah, if it had been some kind of special day, I would have remembered. For example, it was pouring rain on the day of my elementary school graduation.
Objection!
Exactly. No one wants to hear about your childhood traumas, trite. What? By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. If you insist on obsessing over that one statement, let's see the proof. Show some evidence that the body somehow crossed the bridge while it was on fire. Okay, well, this is the last statement, so it's gotta be this one, right? Oh shit, I clicked. God damn it.
Hold it!
Well, I don't see why there couldn't be a way across. Mr. Wright, don't you think that sounds a bit silly? No, not really. I've thought of at least 7 methods. A dead body crossing a burning bridge. Did anyone actually witness such a thing? Option number 8. Option number 8. I don't know how, but I mean, if you built a catapult or a trebuchet, you could yeet it over the bridge. That could be exactly what Larry saw. She would, of course, then have to yeet herself over the bridge. But I mean, I'm not ruling it out. I mean, she would need a catapult. That's the hard part. But I mean, if you had a catapult, it would be very easy to do. You'd have to stick the landing. That would be the tricky part. And I feel like it would probably go higher than 10 feet in order to arc. Oh dear. We had to go, what, 60 feet? Yeah, you'd need greater than 10 feet height to go 60 feet long, right? You would need... If 10 feet is your apex... I don't know. There's a way to work it out, but I don't know enough math. But you can work that out. And I'm pretty sure that's wrong. It's too shallow. The angle is wrong. You need like a 45-degree angle, right, to get your distance. Ha! If there was, I don't think you'd call someone like that a witness. After all, a dream isn't the same as actually seeing something. Come all this way, so I owe it to everyone to figure this out. But how do we prove it? How do you transport a body across a burning bridge? Even if I don't know the exact answer yet, it's okay. I'll start by examining all my evidence and see where that takes me. I'm gonna be like a shark. If I don't keep moving, I'm as good as dead. Sharks keep moving. Oh my god. I can't believe that just came up. Look. Look, let me save and present the burning sketch. Because I don't have any boats. I mean, I kind of do, but I don't have evidence. Because we don't have a picture of it, right? But we know there's a boat. Because... In fact, do we... It doesn't show it. In that courtyard, there is a sled. Now, here's the thing about a plastic sled. It might float. Now, I'm not saying you could necessarily get across Eagle River with a dead body on a plastic sled, but it's not impossible. But the only thing we have that, like, even remotely starts to prove it, I guess, is Body yeeted? Question mark. It at least shows the body and the burning bridge at the same time.
Objection!
A dead body flying over a burning bridge. I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility. What? Ha! You're saying it's possible? Don't make me laugh. The only thing that's possible about your claim is that it's been pulled out of thin air. Nah, I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen. Preposterous! Who is it? Who is this witness? Well, unfortunately, it's Larry Butts, Your Honor. I can't chicken out here. I've got to keep on the attack and go, go, go. Mr. Listo Nim's brilliant and highly gifted apprentice. Loristo Nim. Brilliant. Highly gifted. Apprentice. Remember what he said in his testimony? That night he was at the Mounting Shack Heavenly Hall. And that's when he witnessed the event. I think you've all seen this sketch before. It's an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night. Are you serious? Today's not April Fool's Day, is it? Mr. Wright, are you seriously claiming that the victim flew through the air? And you're using this pathetic scribble to support your arguments? Uh-oh, the judge looks like he's about to blow a gasket. Ha! Well, Trite, there's nowhere for you to hide now. Other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old. Does this sketch prove anything? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does, and I'm gonna prove it. Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down. Yeah, there is something weird about everything literally being upside down, right? The name was written upside down on the thing. If you're so eager to turn this case upside down, why not start with this sketch? Yeah, this as well. Like, is he gonna say that she did run a line under the bridge or something? Oh, are we saying that he was looking? I mean, okay, hold on. Upside down, why did Godot say that? Alright, then let's hear the defense's theory. Hold on, let me look at this upside down. Because of the suspension cables? How do I get my camera up on my phone? Oh my god, I'm so fucking old. Right. Let me have a look at this. Don't auto-rotate it. No. I want to look at it upside down. Yeah, I guess that then would be her floating down the river. So maybe I was right about the sled. What exactly is this sketch trying to show? Let's get a save before he makes me present some evidence for this crazy bullshit theory. I don't think old Whiskerface is going to forgive any more mistakes. Alright, Phoenix, look carefully and think it over. The sketch drawn by Loristo Nim is a complete contradiction, or exactly what happened. It depends what we're trying to say. Now, this is worded in such a way that it's like, am I saying it's a contradiction because it should be upside down, or am I saying it's exactly what happened because it should be upside down? I'm going to go with exactly what happened. Let's try that first. No, not that then. Of course the victim was flying through the air. You can see it right there in the sketch. Whoosh! We haven't discovered a giant human catapult. Yeah. Is this a dead end? Okay, yeah, it is. Hold on. What if we say it was a complete contradiction? Something is obviously funny about this sketch. I'm no art critic, but even I can see that. And that's not what I mean, Your Honor. Luis on him stated it over and over, that this sketch was exactly as he saw it. However, if we're to believe his testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it. It contradicts reality? Ha! This is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to that finger-pointing thing again. Okay, Wright. So what exactly contradicts reality as we know it? Body, question mark? This flying figure, naturally. After all, people haven't learned to fly yet. Or did I miss something? Mr. Wright? That answer just now? It was lethal. Oh. What? God, this fucking game. Just when you think it starts to make sense, it then just doesn't make sense anymore. Right, let's see. And we do want to go with exactly what happened. Right, fine. So we're saying it's exactly what happened, but upside down, I assume. Of course the victim was flying through the air. You can see it right there in the sketch. Whoosh! You know, you're starting to remind me of yesterday's witness. What? That was the last thing I wanted to hear. Do you have any evidence that the victim flew through the air? Just so you know, we haven't discovered a giant human catapult at the inner temple yet. I wish they had. Even if you're a lousy lawyer, at least you're 1 cup's worth of entertainment. I think we should skip the penalty this time. There must be some way, I just know it. There must be a way to use Larry's sketch to show the truth of what happened. Thing is, if it's upside down, that means Larry saw it from above, which is just really fucking weird. Alright then, the witness will now return to her testimony. Yes, Your Honor. Wait, so now we're back here? Oh no, I did it wrong. We're meant to say it's a complete contradiction. Fuck me. Why? Why is this game so confusing? So we're saying it is a contradiction, but it's not the figure, it's the wire. Okay. It's this wire connected to the bridge. The wire. Ha! Is that the thing that contradicts reality? Apparently so, yes. Then show us the reality it supposedly conflicts with. because the things are upside down?
Take that!
That's a photo of Dusky Bridge, correct? Yes, now compare the sketch and the photo for a minute. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. But on the actual Dusky Bridge... Jumping Jehoshaphat! Wires are below the guard wires. What? Order! This sketch is somewhat different than what's depicted in the photo. However, isn't it likely that the artist just saw it wrong? Or perhaps he just drew it wrong. Either way, it sounds like you're just wrong. With someone like Larissa, I admit a mistake is a definite possibility. But then that begs the question, why did he make a mistake? What was the reason? Are you saying you know the answer to that? Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Larissa was doing when he witnessed this event. He was at Heavenly Hall waiting for a lover that was never going to come. Phrasing. He waited and waited and finally he laid down. But then, lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame. Now ponder what sort of position Larissa must have been in at that time. He was lying on his back, which is why he remembered the scene the way he did. He was lying on his back. I can't see how it relates. But it does, Your Honor. That is the reason why the wires in the sketch go up instead of down. What? But then how would he see the body? This makes even less sense now. Oh. No way. At least I didn't witness the event while he was lying on his back face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down. So then, this sketch should actually... I think you finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view Lawrence Dunham's sketch is like this. And what sense does that make? This is how it should actually look. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge, it was actually swinging below. What? This is so bullshit. Of all the different ways to get the body across, this is the dumbest. That's right, just like a pendulum. Ridiculous. Order.
Objection.
Of all the things to say, a pendulum. The bridge was burning to a crisp. There was no way to get across it. But if the body had been found at the inner temple, it would have caused problems. But if the bridge was already on fire, why even move the body? By staying there, you basically bought yourself like an extra day to hide the body. And no one's even going to know there's been a murder in the first place. This is the worst fucking plan I've ever heard of. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across to the other side. And a pendulum was the only way to get it done.
Objection.
Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from the inner temple to the opposite cliff. Yeah, that sounds right. In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, you would need a 30-foot pendulum. You'd need a rope at least 10 yards long. Yeah, that's 30 foot. And it would have to be secured in the center of the burning bridge. And it would have to be made out of something non-flammable because the bridge is on fire. This is like the most insane shit ever. To get a rope that long, you'd have to plan ahead. That as well. Yeah, this is a fair point to Godot. This makes no freaking sense in the slightest. Unless she was gonna burn the bridge on purpose. But then that still doesn't make sense. Because why not just cross the bridge and then burn it down? The lightning strike that night can only have been an accident. So it doesn't make sense that the culprit would have prepared the rope beforehand. So then, they didn't have to get the rope ready. The rope was already right in front of them. They used the broken suspension cable. That's still bollocks, though. You're not going to have enough momentum to get to the other side. It's just, this is bullshit is what this is. Absolute bullshit. I'm saying it's just a matter of using what was already there. In that case, Mr. Wright, please give us an explanation to support your theory. I can't, Your Honor. This explanation is bollocks, and I hate it. Which picture is it? Is it the morning after picture? There's so many fucking pictures. This one. This one.
Take that!
And the meaning of this is, if you want to know where the rope came from, it's hanging right there in front of your glorious beard. This is one of the wires from the bridge. When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire, one of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. It would be too short to reach the other side and you wouldn't have enough momentum. But this is the explanation we're going with. The criminal didn't have any time to waste. So they tied the wire around the least on him's body. How did it come off? No! Just no! Because there was simply no other way to move the body. Absolute bollocks. I refuse to accept this. If this is the actual explanation, this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Mr. Godot. It seems that Mr. Godot is more focused on his coffee than answering my question. I don't blame him, Your Honor. It seems that the odds of a rope being readily available were very high. So I suppose that it's not an impossibility after all. It definitely is impossible. Do it, Godot. Possible or impossible? That's not the question we need to ask. Yes, it is. It absolutely fucking is the question we need to ask right now. Godot, please. Some sanity. There's only one question. Did that really happen? It did not. Trite, I wonder if you can prove what happened to us. Do you have any actual evidence that the body was swung over like a pendulum? No. But I'm guessing this is meant to be it. But it really isn't. It really isn't evidence. You can't say that this is evidence that the body was swung over. Judge about Phoenix and Apollo Justice. Mr. Wright has a talent for the ridiculous. You're not kidding. This is absurd. This is absolutely absurd.
Take that!
Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. Going to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Looking at the map, we can see that it was in front of the inner temple. I will accept that because it's angled, it could be long enough. But I refuse to accept the motion and the loosening of the rope on the other side. Looking at the map, we can see that it's the one that was in front of the inner temple. So then, that was the spot where the criminal... Yeah, precisely. And let us consider the body's movement by looking at the overhead map again. If the body was pushed from this point here, it would land over there. It would drop on the opposite bank at approximately this point. Did you say drop? Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank. So Dahlia passed the body to Iris. Yeah, okay. And that explains the 10-foot drop. 10 foot as well. Like, there's no way it swings that far. What makes you think something like that happened? The motion is plausible. Are you familiar with the bowling ball pendulum experiment? It's not going to swing more than the height you released it at, right? Am I misunderstanding, like, physics here? Because some momentum is always lost because of the weight, the drag. This is a body we're eating over there. It can't go any higher than where you release it from. And certainly not going to be 10 foot higher than where you release it from, surely. Because you're translating that initial potential energy purely to kinetic and whatever drag is, which would be, I guess, heat. What about 10 foot lower? Oh, if the other bank is lower? Oh, I guess. Like if she got it from like the bottom of Heavenly Hall? It raises a lot of questions at the very least. I have evidence that suggests her body dropped some distance. I do. The autopsy report. What kind of evidence? Let's take a look at this autopsy report. It says here that her body fell about 10 feet after her death. 10 feet, huh? That's most likely the height difference between the two sides. I mean, it would have to be more than that, but okay. I'll allow that if I was assuming the banks are the same side. Especially if you're running cables to them, but okay. Okay, sure. This still doesn't make sense. The body overswung due to form momentum, but then came loose and fell. But also, how did it come loose and fell about 10 feet? There's a lot of this that doesn't make sense. And then as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose. That's... Yeah, it's this blood-stained amethyst crystal. The one that came off Mr. Lee Stunim's staff. And even more important is the place where this crystal sphere was found. Because even weirder, like, they're not even just sending the body over, they're sending the staff as well. Like, you're tying the body and the staff together. Tightly enough that the staff doesn't fall in the river. And yet, at the end, somehow the rope comes loose and both the body and the staff fall. I mean, I suppose you could wedge it in her robes or something, but... I mean, if you did, then the crystal wouldn't come loose. I hate everything about this. I hate this explanation. Even more important is the place where this crystal sphere was found. Indeed, I believe it's already marked on this overhead map. The crystal was found... precisely, Your Honor. In the very spot where the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed. The only way that you would get this to work and it could be done, but you would have to travel with the body. So you and the body swing down, you drop off at the Eagle River Point and drift away, giving it enough momentum to actually fucking get there. And even after you've done that, you've still got to figure out how to loosen the rope at the exact moment to release the body. And even then, this pokes so far forward that even with a height difference, there's a risk this fucks up. This is madness. This explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright, does it? You provided us with a way the body could have been moved that night. Yeah, maybe the least feasible of all my options. I'd even buy the flight more than I would buy this. I'd buy the yeet explosion before I'd buy this. I'd buy a flock of birds carrying the body between them more than I would buy this. An impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive. Mr. Wright. I thought this cold coffee might help you cool down. A slipknot? That's not how slipknots work, though, is it? Like, don't get me wrong, I know how slipknots are, but how are you tying a slipknot that would loosen at the exact moment you want it to loosen? I mean, it would have to loosen based on the lessening of centrifugal force. Right? You would have to do it in such a way that it's tight under centrifugal force and then loosens at the moment that force becomes zero. Can that be done? I mean, I don't doubt you could have a rope that's tight under, like a knot that's tight under force, but not that loosens as the force lessens. You know, I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a second. You would need something like a slipknot. Usually, you have to you have to do a flick of the rope or something to cause it to actually loosen. Otherwise, it remains tight. Or you have to manually loosen it if it's like a noose knot. That's a slip knot that's it's tight one way and then it's loose the other way. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Godot? Your Honor, it is bollocks. I don't buy it. That was a dark and bitter guess that you made, Trite. But you forgot about one thing. Reality and the laws of physics. Oh, and what would that be? The aroma. Smells like bullshit. A coffee's most reliable accomplice is its deep and profound aroma. The rest of the court doesn't speak Kofinese. Can you elaborate a bit more? If the criminal had sent the body to the other side like you say, then how did she get across? Then naturally there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it. I mean, take your pick. Sister Bikini, Iris herself, and Dahlia was the one on the other side, aka Maya. Morgan. Maybe she got out of jail. I don't fucking know. At this point, it could be anything. If we're accepting this bullshit, take your pick. Another Hawthorne sister we don't know about. Another Faye we don't know about. The father. Fucking Larry Butts. I don't know. The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge, but she had to. Iris had to be the one on this side because she wasn't isolated when the bridge burnt down. Although at this point, maybe Iris swung herself over afterwards. Who knows? She's also the only one with the key for the snowmobile. Iris has to be the accomplice. So who collected the body? What do you have to say about that, Trite? Mr. Godot is correct. This can't be the work of a single person. Well, Mr. Wright, you know what you must do. I mean, logically it's Iris, but I think we're way out of the realm of logic now. Yes, Your Honor. The body couldn't have made it to Hazakura Temple without an accomplice. And we know the accomplice is Iris. Very well then, if you please, Mr. Wright. Who was the person that received the body on the Hazakura Temple? I'm glad you didn't ask me who was the accomplice.
Take that!
It can only be you, Sister Iris. But I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her bad back, Sister Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You're the only one that could have managed it. Right. Were you even listening to the witness's testimony? On the night of the crime, this little cutie pie was on cleanup duty in the inner temple garden after the mother-daughter bloodbath. I haven't forgotten, but if you, Mr. Godot, this witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim. Strange indeed. It's almost as if, on that night, the defendant was in two different places at the same time. Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony? Mention what? The pendulum, of course. Using the sketch drawn by an eyewitness, I have established how the body was moved using the burnt-out bridge. Since it's now a fact that this occurred, something you should have already known. What? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Why would she know about it? No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum. Why would you? But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help. So you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing. What? Unless you're not really Iris to begin with. What are you talking about? I guess because somebody else has to toss the body over, but that could just be Maya. And even then, like, why the fuck would she bring it up? That would only incriminate her. What? How can you say that, Mr. Wright? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying this witness isn't Iris of Hazakura Temple?
Objection!
Are you serious, Trite? You mean that this woman is... So we're going with the Dahlia's not dead theory? There's no one besides Iris that could have received the corpse that night. I'll accept that. Now I get it. Now I know why I've been sick to my stomach this whole trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. And why she's trying to pin the murder on Maya. Okay, so we're doing the Dahlia's not dead one. That still doesn't, like, the way we've caught her out doesn't make sense. But sure. Dahlia smegging Hawthorne.
Take that!
Okay, I'll accept the Dahlia's not dead theory for now. I don't know how she escaped. But... sure. I never thought I'd have to utter your name again. Let alone see you. been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne. Hawthorne? Sister Iris had a twin sister. And you're looking at her, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless. Ha! It's just your imagination, Gramps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne, including the fact that she was supposedly executed in prison. Oh yes, I remember now. That case 5 years ago. My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I just want to say it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. Oh, I forgot what your voice was. It was so long ago. The honor is all mine. Oh, the honor is all mine. But according to this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead. It says her execution was carried out last month. So what? Death has no meaning in this courtroom. This is also true. Like, so many people come back from the dead. Like, who fucking knows? Or wait a moment. How can you? My sister, she's already dead. What kind of? You of all people should already understand. After all, the blood of the master of the Crane channeling technique flows within that body. But she said she couldn't channel. I guess that was just bullshit. But also, that still doesn't make any sense unless Sister Bikini channeled Dahlia, and she's the accomplice. No, because she was on the other side. It would still have to be Maya channeling Dahlia. I don't fucking know. The Crane channeling technique, now where have I heard that? That's right, you're not Dahlia Hawthorne herself. What? You're the spirit of Dahlia currently inhabiting the body of a spirit medium. What an exciting story. Exciting, but quite impossible. You're asking us to buy that Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone on the very night of the murder to a temple where her twin sister Iris was. Well, if you're going to put things that way, then yes.
Objection!
We're supposed to believe a coincidence like that just happens?
Objection!
Naturally, it was no coincidence. The whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. It's all written right here in these instructions. Oh, what's that? These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fay. Part of the plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises at Hazakura Temple. 2 of them. Even the time of the channeling was planned out. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, in other words 10 PM. However, Iris was seen before dinner time. That means the Iris that was at dinner was the real Iris. And the Iris who gave me this hood in the main hall was also the real Iris. Meaning that the Iris Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple was someone else dressed as her, namely one Dahlia Hawthorne.
Objection!
Do you even know what you're saying, Trite? I don't. I've lost track completely. This is... It's all channeling the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne business. Yes, it's true that you found plans that talk about it. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness currently standing in the witness stand is the real Iris. I mean, that makes sense. If we believe that Iris really can't channel. Calm down and remember what you know about the night of the crime. After meeting Sister Bikini, the Dahlia Hawthorne that had been channeled would have been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning strike. Exactly. Unless she dropped into the river. It was later that the body was moved by pendulum. Yeah, that's right. Naturally, that would mean that the Iris that received the body was the real Iris. Are you with me so far? Yeah, I'm with you so far. After being notified of what happened, the police came to Hazakura Temple's main hall. There, they found Iris in her room and arrested her. And ever since, she's been under police supervision at the detention center. Except for when she got away from Miles Edgeworth. There was a moment when Miles Edgeworth lost her. So I'm not buying that either. I don't know if it's important, but I remember it happening. Oh, thank goodness. It looks like he's finally convinced. Something still seems off, way off. Still not convinced that the Iris here is the same one from the other night. Ha! I suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous. Yeah, I suppose we are. We have no hard evidence of this. Like the real Iris and the spirit of Dahlia somehow switched places. Switched places? Is that possible? I don't know. I don't know enough about the Karain spirit channeling bullshit. To be perfectly honest, there are still quite a few things I don't understand. Yeah, me too. Welcome to the club, Judge. But I do know that unless we confirm the witness's identity, we can't continue with this trial. Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia, which means we must have switched places somewhere. Yes, when Edgeworth lost sight of during the earthquake, he lost sight of Iris. So she breaks the lock on the inner sanctum because she set that one and knew how to open it. She goes in, swaps places with Maya, who is still channeling Dahlia. Dahlia comes out. But I thought the police had arrested Maya. So that doesn't work. Oh no, because they think Maya's still in there, right? They haven't arrested her because of the 5 locks. So yeah, that would work. So, sure. So Iris is now behind those 5 locks. Okay. Since the time she was arrested at Hazakura Temple, have there been any chances for Iris to switch places with Dahlia Hawthorne? There was one. Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance. Oh, explain yourself. Yesterday, for a few minutes, Iris's whereabouts were unknown. Unknown? What do you mean? What I mean is, there was a span of time in which Iris was able to move about freely, unsupervised. Well, who was it? Who would give a murder suspect time to move about freely like that? I assume we're clicking Edgeworth. But just in case it's Gumshoe or something for releasing her, we'll go with a save. I'm sorry, I know you didn't mean to, it wasn't your fault. Okay, it was Edgeworth. This is Mr. Edgeworth, isn't it? Your Honor, there was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not? An earthquake, Earthquake! Oh my goodness, the inner temple. This kind of tremor might... How could I have? She fled. She escaped. We went to the inner temple right away. And it's true, Iris was already there. However, they'd already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne. See, this bit I'm okay with. It's the pendulum that I'm not okay with. Everything else, sure. That's quite enough already, Mr. Wright. Now see here, no judge in his right mind will consider the idea of spirit channeling and... Quiet. It's been a long time, Mr. Judge. That voice. Guess I'll have to ask again. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules. Dahlia Hawthorne. And my current profession, permanently retired. Ha! So you're not going to bother hiding your identity anymore, huh? Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can do to punish me. What is going on here? Dahlia Hawthorne. I never thought we'd meet again. And I never thought we'd meet like this. But this time, I'll end it. For her and for myself. To be continued. And it will be continued, because that's lunchtime. We will pick up with this dramatic finale of Trials and Tribulations tomorrow at around... we'll do it around 10 a.m. I think. We'll move Behodel till after lunch. And we'll catch up with this tomorrow at 10. If you fancy more Phoenix Wright, that's when it's happening. And I shall be back after lunch, half an hour or more, to do Behodel, and then probably some Hitman, let's be honest. Although I might poke Valerius and see if he's around for something, but maybe there's a slim chance we do something multiplayer. Right, I'm off to get some eats. Thanks for joining me, I appreciate it. I will see you another time. Goodbye.